Well, hi, I'm Beatty, Carmichael, and welcome back to this next edition of Get Sellers Calling You. We're actually, by the way, that's getsellerscallingyou.com, so you can learn more about how to get sellers calling you. This is actually another installment in a multiple-part series on real estate letters that get listings. And for those of you who don't know much about me, my name is Beatty Carmichael. I'm the CEO of Master Grabber. I've been working exclusively with real estate agents, some of the top producing agents in the country, since 2012. And you can find more about us if you search me out. But what I want to do here is I want to talk about what I call the persuasion letter. Okay, there are basically two types of letters that get sellers calling you. And one is the teaser letter, and that's actually doesn't get them calling you, it gets you calling them. Identifies who they are so you can pick up the phone because you now know who's thinking about selling. We just covered that in a previous video, and on this video what I want to talk about is the persuasion letter. And the persuasion letter over time will actually generate more responses for you than anything else. Excuse me. But the key with the persuasion letter is it's not an event, it's a process, okay? Meaning you can't just send one letter out and just think it's going to work. It's going to take a letter and a letter and a letter and an ongoing series. Or if you think in terms of postcards, which are a lot of times easier to do and actually more responsive than a letter, then think about sending out postcard after postcard after postcard. Got to back up and tell you just one quick story. Years back in my marketing life, I was doing a lot of direct mail, and I remember I had this letter. This was a real hefty sales letter, and it was really well done. And we mailed it out, and we got just a nominal response rate. And then I decided to go to a two-part series. I decided to first go to a postcard, and then get the people who are interested in the letter to request it. And the results went through the roof. I mean, like 10 or 20 times the response rate. And this is back when I didn't understand much about marketing. So I was talking to this guy who does a lot of direct mail marketing. I was explaining this to him. And he said, "Oh, well, that's simple. I could have told you that." I said, "Why is it? Why did the postcard get so much more results than a letter?" He said, "Well, the answer is real easy." He said, "With a letter, your first job is to get them to open the letter and actually pull your letter out, open the envelope and pull your letter out and start reading it. And so most people throw that letter away before they even open it. And you've already lost." He said, "With a postcard, no one throws a postcard away before they've read it. And so you've got 100% readership on the postcard and only a very small percent readership on the letter. That's why postcards work so much better." So put that in your little noggin. Remember that, because if you want to get 100% of your message read, you send it by postcard, not by letter, not by email, okay? Only 1 out of 6 emails, real estate related emails, even get open according to MailChimp. So that's some free advice. So back to the persuasion letter and what it is. And I want to check my notes just to make sure I'm on topic, because this is kind of real important. So here's the key with the persuasion letter. The persuasion letter is designed to persuade them to choose you, okay? Now that's real simple to understand, but it's a lot harder to execute on it. To understand why they choose you, you've got to understand one other aspect of marketing. Is called the outside perception versus inside reality concept. And what this is the concept behind how homeowners view agents. Let me put this back in my belt. So most homeowners look at agents as as real estate agents are all the same. All a real estate agent does is they stick a sign in the yard, they list you in the MLS, and they wait for someone else to bring a buyer. And because they believe that, they also believe that it doesn't matter who I choose to sell my home, I'm going to get the same price in about the same amount of time with any agent because they're all the same. Now, wouldn't you agree that that's what most homeowners believe to be true? Yeah, of course you would. Is it true? In other words, let me ask you this question. If those people on your list, whether it's that neighborhood you're going to mail to or that past clients and sphere of influence list, if those homeowners on that list understood the skill and the expertise that you bring to the table to the same degree that you understand it about yourself, would they realistically choose any other agent besides you? Of course not, if you're good, right? So if you can honestly answer that question and say, of course not, then here's the key. Until they understand your skill and expertise at the same level that you understand it, they will always be choosing other people periodically. And the farther the gap between your inside reality of who you are and their perception of who you are, the farther that gap, the more people that they choose another agent for instead of you. Okay? So if you want to narrow that gap, if you want to get more of those sales that they're generating, more of the referrals that they're producing, then you've got to persuade them why to choose you. And here's the simple way. If you did nothing else but this one thing, you'll start going a long way down the list of getting them choosing you. And that is sending out just sold postcards. I know everyone's talking about just sold postcards, but if you send out a just sold postcard every month, consistently, religiously, all the time, without fail, never miss a month, and you send it to that same group of people over and over and over again, you will get them starting to do business with you. It's uncanny how effective it is, and it's the simplest thing. But then there's some things you can do about that just sold postcard. Okay, you can send out a just sold postcard that says just sold, or you can say, just sold in 7 days for $2,000 over asking price. That's better. Or you can say just sold in 7 days for $2,000 over asking price, and here's how. And you start to explain some of the things that happened. Or you explain what went on with that sale. How did you sell it in 7 days for $2,000 over asking price? In other words, here's what I'm saying. The more you can bring that homeowner inside that sale of what just happened and actually tell something powerful about what happened with that sale, the more they start to believe that you're an expert. And the more they believe that you're an expert, the more likely you are to get the next sale that they do. Okay? So the very simple way of doing a persuasion letter is to do it as a postcard, as a just sold postcard, and do it all the time. See, most agents have this limited thinking that you only send postcards around the homes of a home that you just listed or sold. Okay? And that makes some sense. But you know what? If you were to send that just sold postcard to everyone that you know, and then the next sale to everyone that you know, and the next sale to everyone that you know. Well, let me ask it this way, okay? Let's say that you have a list of 1,000 people. All right, let's say you got 1,000 postcards you're going to send out. Which do you think is going to be more productive? Sending out 1,000 postcards to 1,000 people so each person gets a postcard one time, or to take a list of 100 people and send each of them 10 postcards. So now you've still got 1,000 postcards going out, but now you got 10 touches among those 100 people versus one touch among 1,000. Which group is going to get you more results? Yeah, you're right. It's the 100 people touched 10 times. So why, when you sell a home, do you do circle farming, so to speak, and you send out a just sold postcard to the closest 50 or 100, and that's it? You touch them one time. Doesn't work that way. I mean, it works, but if you want best results, keep sending a postcard over and over and over again to the most likely list. That's actually going to get us into a farming topic, which we'll talk about later. So, easiest step on a persuasion letter is just sold postcard all the time. You don't have that many sales, then you do a just listed and then a just sold. Okay, if you got 6 sales a year, then you can do a just listed and a just sold, and you'll get 12 mailings out a year. You don't have 6, you only got 3, okay? Then you do coming soon, just listed, under contract, just sold. So now you can get 4 mailings out of that single house, okay? So how do you cut it? Don't be limited by the typical agent's perspective that, well, I only have 1 sale, I can't do but 1 mailing on it. Sure you can, okay? Or you can even go even further. Let's think out of the box for a moment. Why don't you go backwards to the sales you had last year and handpick the best sales that you've had? You know, those that were sold. Sorry about that, we have to splice this back together. So I was talking about going back to those sales that you had a year ago, and the sales that are short days on market, over list price, multiple offers, was an expired sale. Find something that you can say something exciting about, and don't send it out as a just sold letter. Send it out as a sold postcard. Sold in 5 days for full asking price. How did I do this? My aggressive marketing generated so many people coming through that house. Within the first 5 days that we had 3 offers, we created a bidding war, and I had it sold and under contract within only 5 days. If you're looking to get your home sold for the most amount in the shortest amount of time, give Beatty Carmichael a call, because I work harder than any, you create something, okay? But now you can go back and actually pull out what we call wow solds. It's solds that when you tell a story, the homeowner goes, wow, that's amazing. And then you do that over and over again. So now let me give you one final tip on persuasion letters, okay? So what you want to do, the most important part is stay consistent. Stay consistent showing off your sales. Stay consistent, not only showing off your sales, but explaining what's going on behind it so that they start to get more confidence that not only are you doing good sales, but you're doing good sales because you know what you're doing. And so in our realm, what we found is there's a formula. We call it the 3 S's. Show off your successes, explain the secrets behind the successes, and explain any unique services or benefits that you do that sets you apart. We're not going to talk about the 3rd S. That's a totally different topic. But let's talk about the 2nd S. Explain the secrets behind what you do. So the secrets is your listing presentation, okay? So think about your listing presentation. I'm assuming and hoping that you have a listing presentation, and on that listing presentation you go page by page, okay? Or maybe swipe it if it's on an iPad or something. And you're talking to that homeowner that you're doing a listing appointment with all the reasons why they should choose you. You should choose me because I price my homes well. You should choose me because I do all kinds of aggressive marketing. You should choose me because I've gotten all these negotiating skills and experience. You should choose me because, okay? Take each of those reasons why they should choose you and then use one of those with each of your just sold postcards. Just sold in 5 days for full asking price. I created a bidding war, got 5 offers or 3 offers. How do I consistently do this? Well, one secret is my expertise in pricing. Okay, and then you explain your pricing. One secret is my expertise in aggressive marketing, and then you explain what you do in marketing it. One secret is, so you take each of these things and you turn it into a secret that you consistently use. So now what's happening is each postcard is educating your receiver, your recipient, on your inside reality. We talked first about outside perception versus your inside reality. And the gap between that is the gap between how many of those people you get choosing you. The more you can narrow that gap by educating them who you are and why you do and how it performs for them, you'll get more sales. Does this whole concept work? I've got to tell you a story. So one of our clients is a guy named Nelson. And we were doing mailings for him. We're actually identifying sellers before they come on the market. He's doing Facebook marketing, not really Facebook marketing, he's on the Facebook community page, okay? And he's staying in front of them and he's talking about what he's doing. So we're sending out mailings to identify sellers. He's on the Facebook community page saying, hey, I just listed this, I just sold this, here's a little bit of what I did. In 18 months, this is a 1,500 home community. In 18 months, he goes from a nobody to controlling 22% of the listings in that market. That's huge. That's what this can do for you. So hopefully this information has been helpful. And if it has, let me ask you to do 3 things for me, please. Like it, comment on it so we can hear what your feedback, so we get some ideas of what other topics to talk about, and share it with someone else. Also, let me encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you'll get more of these. And finally, got to put a plug in, okay? So this is the advertising. This is what pays for these YouTube videos. If you do $5 million a year or more in volume in your real estate business, and you have at least 100 people on a list that you've already compiled of people that you know, friends, family, acquaintances, sphere of influence, past clients, and you want a way to double and triple the sales and referrals you get from that, we've developed a program that's so effective, so lock solid, actually produces, we guarantee your sales out of it, or we refund your money. And you can learn more about that at agentdominator.info, agentdominator.info. So thanks for watching. Hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you on the next video.